So I think I have to make a statement regarding a little back and forth exchange that seems to be occurring between L James 418, one of my channels, and Young Camp. You got it twisted, Young Camp. Brother Larry is not using the word nigga to popularize himself. That's just patently absurd. First of all, if you really are checking the posts, you'll see people telling me, Brother Larry, we got more important things to do than deal with the word nigga. It's just a word. Let it go. Let's deal with some real issues. See, they're not dealing with the psychological impact or the aspects of this term and how it is utilized and used by the opposition to further belittle and befuddle all of you pseudo-intellectual conscious individuals. Now, as for myself, I keep trying to tell you, Brother Larry is not a nigga. By you attempting to insist that I'm a nigga, that only lets me know that you are a cracker. You understand? You are the enemy. Now, it doesn't matter what you look like, because clearly individuals who look like we look betrayed our ancestors. So you can look like we look and be the enemy. Just keep that in mind. I did a piece a while ago called Own Worst Enemy. That refers to individuals like yourself that insist that they're niggas, that insist that we are all niggas. You are the goddamn enemy. I mean, I made this statement in a piece that I did call Nigga Gotta Die. You looking for the enemy, look in the goddamn mirror. Now, you have to understand that at some point in time, this goes from little slick street talk to affecting individuals in a negative way in every aspect of your life. You walk into a business in order to spend your hard-earned money, and you see young blacks employed in the business, and they are engaging in nigga talk. My nigga this, my nigga that. They're on a corporate plantation calling themselves and others nigga. That's a fucking problem. You understand? It's a psychological problem. It means that they have psychologically accepted their role in this society. And traditionally, what has been the role of black people in this society? I mean, goddamn, I got to draw you a picture. I got to turn on Roots and see your chicken George ass dancing around on the plantation. You understand? Now, at some point in time, you are going to have to engage in a conversation with your children, should you have them. And that conversation is going to involve, Daddy, what are we? Where do we come from? You going to tell your children that y'all niggas. Y'all came from where? From plantation? You going to tell them they came from Africa and they were niggas? And when they look and see that there's no niggas in Africa, then what you going to tell them? Huh? You understand? It's time to be serious. It's time to stop the bullshit. It's time to stand up and be men and women among men and women. It's time to stop being put down. It's kind of interesting that out of all of the people in this society, only you insist that you are the most negative aspect of any oppression suffered. You see that the Native Americans, they rebelled against the stereotypical images of Native Americans and the disparaging language that was used to describe them, Redskins and Chiefs and shit like that. You understand? They put pressure on sports teams and to stop denigrating the character of their ancestors. But you, here it is. You got people posting that claim that their parents are proud Nigerians. The hell is a proud Nigerian? Their parents are proud Nigerians, but they're niggas, and trying to tell me that nigga is Naija man. Huh? Like Brother Larry's ignorant. That's pidgin English. You know, in the west coast of Africa, they speak pidgin English. Just like in Jamaica, they speak patois, which is a form of pidgin English, right? When you go into the south of the United States and you hear some of the accents in the south, that's pidgin English, right? We learn this English from ignorant Europeans. We don't learn it from the educated Europeans, which is why there appears to be such a thing as black English. You know, that uneducated, dialectical, thick accented ignorance. Yes, I said it. And we learn it from ignorant white people. The uneducated ones were the ones on the plantation. We didn't have educated white people on the plantation. The educated white people wasn't nowhere near that stuff. You understand? That was the lowest of the low of those people. So their character was morally debased. Their behavior was morally contemptible. And their actions were barbaric. Which is why we remember them with such fondness that we call them crackers. You understand? So now, by you engaging in the language of the cracker, you have adopted the mindset of the cracker. This is why you regard your brothers and your sisters as niggas and bitches. Because that's the way those crackers regarded us. So by you adopting their mindset and employing their language, you have then began to act out their actions. This is why you kill your brothers and your sisters. You just want to pimp a bitch, fuck a nigga. That's the cracker in you. Now you want to bring that to me and say, well, Brother Larry, you exploiting the word nigga for popularity. Brother Larry not selling you a damn thing. Bro, you don't see Brother Larry holding no lectures, charging people $10 and $15 and $20 to come sit down and have me talk to you. I'm making a video. I'm sitting in my little office space in my apartment and I'm making a video and I'm posting it and it's free. For you, costing me a little bit of time, but the reason I do it is because maybe a few of you will see the video and hear the logic and understand that, wait a minute, something's wrong. How come we the only ones that take the most negative shit said about us and run with it? Now everybody wants to run with the most negative shit said about us. Now how the hell is that? They don't run with kike for Jews. They don't run with spick for Spanish people. They run with nigga for blacks. Now why is that? Haven't you asked yourself, wait a minute, what is the psychology behind this bullshit? How come you take the most negative shit said about black people and run with that? Just say that all over the place. All in front of black people. Never mind, fuck black people. Been oppressed, been enslaved, been lynched, been murdered. Fuck them niggas. We gonna say nigga anywhere. Why is that? Could it be that because you don't have any respect for yourself, they don't have any respect for you? Could it be that because you don't stand up for yourself, nobody's gonna stand up with you? Could it be that because you ain't busting shit, they walking over you? You understand? Now, as a terrorist tactic, you had groups of white men, European Americans, terrorizing black communities throughout this country, but primarily in the South. Not exclusively in the South, but primarily in the South. And that's only because the populations of blacks were larger in the South. So they were terrorizing these black communities, and they were doing it with a purpose. Their purpose was to keep you in subjection, under submission, under economic and social and political domination. And you have learned to accept that fucking position, so that when you traveled away from those areas where we were fundamentally in numbers, you brought the same goddamn mindset, the same acceptance of abuse, so that when you call you nigga, you put your fucking head down and accept that shit. And when you hear it, you don't say shit about it, because you think that if you say something about it, they gonna set upon you and lynch you. Brother Larry not worried about being lynched. Brother Larry not worried about no white people coming to me telling me shit. I'm telling you that it's time for you to grow a set. That would be balls. It's time for you to stand up and be a man. That would be real. It's time for you to stand up for the community wherein which you find yourself. That would be what men do. You understand? Now, I'm not advocating that you go out and turn into a George Zimmerman. But I'm just saying, at least George Zimmerman was standing up in his community. Now, I'm not saying he was right. Y'all already know my position on George Zimmerman. Should have took his fucking head off. But that's another issue. Right now, the issue is, why the hell you don't stand up and say that shit ain't happening in your community where you live? The little sisters being raped. The little brothers being killed. The men and women being abused. Why you ain't standing up? Why you ain't being a man? Why you ain't being responsible? Why you depending on NYPD? Whatever PD. Philadelphia PD. California PD. Los Angeles PD. Why you depending on your enemy, traditional enemy, to protect you when you know they don't give a fuck about you? Why you dialing 911? Why you not dialing brother man? We got an issue to deal with. Come on over. I mean, why? Could it be because you accept the abuse for so long that you just expected to go along with the shit? That you don't have no voice in what happens to you and yours where you live? Could it be that you're not really standing up and being a man? Could it have anything to do with the language that you use? It's your boy and not your man? Could it be that psychologically you have accepted the position that they have placed you in, forced you to remain in, so that you don't want to cause any problems? You don't want to be singled out? You don't want them to look at you any different? Is that why when you post videos you hide your face behind handkerchiefs? Huh? Could it be that maybe it's time to really stand up and be a man? My name is Brother Larry. I'm not telling you that I've always been a correct individual. Had my little run-ins. I grew up on a rough side of town. I'm from Harlem, New York. It was rough coming up. I'm not telling you that I ain't have food to eat. I come from a good family. My family fed me. I'm telling you that I ran out in them streets with brothers and I got with the wrong crowd, and I'm not blaming the wrong crowd for what happened to me. I'm telling you, I was responsible for what happened to me. You understand? Just like I'm responsible for what I'm saying to you right now. You don't see anybody with me saying, yeah, Larry, that's right. No, see, Brother Larry, know that Brother Larry is telling you the right thing. You need to stop, number one, calling yourself stupid shit. Nigga, that is stupid. The reason it's stupid is because that's what your enemy said to you. That's what your enemy called you. That's the term that your enemy used when he abused you. So much so that now you answer to that shit. If you don't believe me, you got a dog, beat that dog and call that dog something and see if that dog don't answer to that shit you call him. Better snap out that bullshit. Peace. Black Power.